Gary, and I've got a special treat for all my viewers today. We're jumping on a sky train, and we're going to the markets, the weekend markets. JJ, Chatuchak. That's right, Chatuchak markets in Bangkok, and this is a very, very special market indeed. This is a market that's been in existence for over 1,000 years, and it's a Saturday and Sunday event. And to tell you how amazing it is, yes, I'll have a maple waffle, thank you. Please, I'm just getting a few light refreshments from the SkyTrain station before I hit JJ. To tell you how amazing this market is, it's been in existence for over 1,000 years, and it has about just over 10,000 independent store holders. 10,000 independent store holders. I tell you one thing, the Thais can teach us a thing or two about small business and how to keep everything going nicely. I mean, in the West, we've basically killed small business. These big, ugly, awful American big corporates have come in with Chinese-made goods and they've fucking slaughtered it. Whereas the Thais, you want a small business? Start a stand at JJ. It's a small business mecca. And I gotta tell you one thing for sure. I love it. I absolutely love JJ Weekend Market. And it's just absolutely amazing. It's one of the greatest markets on earth. And I love it. I love it. There's vendors everywhere selling all sorts of things, and small business. It's a part of the Thai backbone. I mean, you know, in the West here, we've gone for the big corporates, and it's just gone ugly. You know, all they care about is money and profit. But in Thailand, hey, you got a small business idea? Start out at JJ. And I tell you what, there's some really respectable businesses that run at a JJ. And it's just great. I just love it. I just love the concept. Jatujak market, weekend market, sells all sorts of things. 10,000 stalls, and it's before we haven't even gotten in here yet, and we've got a marketplace environment. It's just so cool. And this is the Thai style. And I gotta say, this market is amazing. And just a few statistics. I just want to tell you a bit about this Chatuchak JJ weekend market. And it's the largest market in Thailand, and it's the world's largest weekend market. And it's frequently called JJ. It covers 35 acres and contains upwards of 5 to 10,000 stalls. It's estimated that the market receives 200,000 visitors each day. Most stalls open only on Saturday and Sundays, though Jatujak Plaza, the western section, is open daily. And it's just fantastic. This market offers a huge variety of items, including household items, clothes, Thai handicrafts, religious artifacts, collectibles, foods, and live animals. For tourists, there are a number of companies on site who will send purchases abroad. Tourists also find Chatuchak a prominent place to find skilled Thai iced tea makers practicing their trade. And I gotta say, it's a fantastic concept. I love the JJ experience, and it just, one thing I love about the Asian experience is that you've got so many, everyone's a small business person. Whether they're selling shit in the street, or they've got corn, or they've got soft drinks, they're all selling product. And I tell you one thing for sure, I love Thailand because it hasn't been, in Australia we've got Woolworths and Coles who dominate the grocery sector. We've got the big retail players who, they got all the markets wrapped up. But in Thailand, man, everyone's a small businessman, from the tuk-tuk driver to the vendor in the street. It's all just amazing stuff. And I gotta say, it's just refreshing. I'm just so sick of the West, where everything is bloody controlled by American multinationals who just, they're interested in profit, and that's all they care about. It's just so refreshing to come to a place like Bangkok and see there's hope for small businesses. And And I just love it. I love walking around here. It can be fairly hot. Let me give you the drum. It can be fairly hot. Some of the stalls are actually air conditioned. When you walk through the alleyways, they're actually air conditioned. So it's just take it easy. There's heaps of soft drink and icy pole vendors there. So just make sure you keep your fluids up. And I just love. There's just so much interesting stuff to find in this market. And I was walking by, we're just walking around. There's so many beautiful women. I got to tell you this now. The Thai women are beautiful. And I saw this old 1960s Volkswagen Beetle. And it just looks so original. Look at it. It's even got the touring, the rack on for the roof, and it's even got the shade lights, the dipped lights. So it looks like it's an original vehicle, well looked after. The Thais love cars. Cars are a huge status symbol to the Thais. It's a developing, it's a developing country. And I gotta say, Jatujak, it is just magnificent. Just to watch, whether you buy something or you just window shopping, and I like to people glaze. You look at some of the people walk by, and I tell you what, don't tell the wife this, but my God, some of the Thai women are just beautiful. Not that I'd ever stray, mind you. I'm Archie. I'm a very faithful guy, but there's such delights just walking around. It's just interesting to see the characters that are at this market here. And there were some cowboys strumming their stuff, Thai cowboys. It's just so cool. It's just such a cool place to come out on the weekend. And a lot of tourists and heaps of stuff for sale there. And we're going to go in soon. We're going to go into some of the stalls there and have a bit of a sticky around there. There's silks for sale, you name it. This market has it. It's all for sale. And I got to say, this is one of the great experiences of going to Thailand. You got to see JJ, the big market. And it's just fantastic to see all sorts of stuff they sell there. And clothing, all artifacts, antiques, everything you could think of is in JJ. I mean, you could, if you're a really big shopping enthusiast, you could spend days in this thing, But as I said, it's only a Saturday and Sunday event, so you're best to get here early. The best way to to go there is on the SkyTrain on Nut, which is the last SkyTrain. So from Nana, you'd be going towards MBK. You stay on the line. You don't change at CM. You keep going on the same line, and that takes you to the last station on Nut. And that is where JJ is. And there's our Thai cowboys. There we go. There's our banjo playing Thai cowboy. I knew I had footage of him. He was pretty cool there. And just so much interesting stuff to see. It's just magnificent to wander around and just see all the people. Just watch the people that are there. It's amazing. And some really, really beautiful Thai ladies, I can tell you that much. Just gorgeous women, and you can have a chat to people. It's just fun. It's just really a relaxed environment. And this is one of the highlights of going to Asia. I mean, of course, the Oriental Hotel is fantastic. Of course, that there's luxury things like that. But coming to JJ, it's just wonderful to see the Thai people. It's away from the sex tourist districts. This is not a sex tourist area. This is all, it's just Thai people making a living from selling cactuses. Look at this. This guy sells cactuses, and he had a really great. Oh, if only I could bring some back, But he had a really great little stand there. He's selling all sorts of cacti, I think the term is there. He's got all sorts of cacti for sale, and it's just great to see someone who's got a small business. They're not afraid to give things a try. In the West, if you wanted to start a small business like this, you'd have to lease a shop somewhere, you'd have to give your job in, and before you know it, the red tape, the legislation, all the rules and all this sort of shit would have killed you. Whereas in Thailand, everyone's a small businessman. The barriers to entry are easy. You just hire a little stand in JJ and get some stock and give it a try, and that's the free enterprise small business spirit that I love so much, and it's really missing from the Western world. The Western world, small business is being killed by big players, and the internet's also a big thing that's hurting things. Mind you, you look around JJ, you could you could very easily start a little business selling stuff on the internet. You could pick a few areas of specialization and put a website together and start selling stuff off. It's great. I'm looking myself. I'd like to in the next 20 years. I'd like to get a place in Thailand and sell some stuff off online. And I think there's some. I'm not saying you'd make a fortune out of it, but hey, you'd scratch out a living. You'd have a lot of fun, and that's what's wonderful about Thailand is that there's so many people who are prepared to give small business a go. And in the West, it's just I don't know what to say. It's just disappointing. There's so much big shopping centres. They just this small business stuff is great. I reckon it's just the lifeblood of an economy, and you see all these people trying to make a living. And I mean, there's no social welfare in Thailand. It's all help yourself. It's like a buffet. Help yourself. But I mean, it's just so healthy to see people trying and selling stuff, and it's just refreshing when you look at the Western world where we thought, we listened to the Americans who said, oh, globalization, global trade, this and that, and we got rid of our manufacturing industries, that they were all exported to China and places like that. And now you look at you look at what's happened in the Western world, and it's just gone pear-shaped. But you go to somewhere like Thailand, and you can see people giving small business a go, and you think, geez, it just restores your faith. I mean, in Australia, if you had a hardware store, Bunnings is slaughtering you. In America, the Walmarts have slaughtered you. Whereas Thailand, hey, we've got JJ. No one can compete against 10,000 independent small business people giving things a go. And that's a damn powerful thing. I tell you one thing for sure. That's one thing we've lost in the West, is that ability to, give things a go. And it's just fantastic. I really loved looking around this market here because I see a lot of hope in the people. In Australia and in the Western world, you've got people, the high youth unemployment, you've got all these problems. Whereas in Thailand, hey, open up a store, get a small business going. Don't muck around, go and do it. And the barriers to entry are just so low. It's easy to start a business. You can do all sorts of things, and it's just refreshing to see the Thai people embracing life. And this is what it's all about there. Don't sit on your ass and whinge and complain and ask for government handouts. No, get off your fucking ass, get a small business going, and hey, maybe you can join the middle class. And that's what the Thais are all striving to do. They want to better themselves and have a better life. And I got to tell you, I love Thailand. I think it's one of the greatest countries on earth. I've seen nothing like it. I just love the way things are done here. And I mean, it's just refreshing to see small business in a healthy environment. And I got to say, it's just so nice. There's a guy playing the violin, an old timer playing the violin. I mean, geez, you wouldn't see this in the West there. I mean, there's a guy selling little knickknacks, 150 baht. It's just great to see. Someone's got a, oriental, just anything. Sell jade little statues. They're selling all sorts of stuff in this market. You specialize in a few products, and off you go. And it's just, I don't know. It's just good to see people giving things a try. And I'm getting very disillusioned with the Western world, and it's kind of it's just great to see a different country. I mean, small business in Thailand, they've been trading for thousands of years. They had little market stands, and off they go. Look at this. This guy's put a nice little stand. He's got a wooden floor there. They just put such effort into their shops, and all sorts of stuff. Look at this old 50s sort of furniture and little Buddhist statues here. It's just great to see people trying things. And they've got a huge books and magazines. And because labour's so cheap, they've got these things. People are able to sort through magazines, and they've got huge collections of magazines for sale. I mean, I'm lucky I sort of had the two Rugrats with me, and they were getting a bit bored because I could have spent hours looking through old magazines that are in JJ Market. And I mean, Jesus, there's just such a wealth of stuff. And it just makes you realize in the West we throw so much shit out, whereas in Thailand everything's got a second, third, fourth life. You know, it's good to see resources. These things are treasured for what they are, and it's not just the antiquities which are treasured. Look at this guy here. He's got a little violin shop. He's got some violins strung up, and he sells violins and repairs them. He's just a small little craftsman. And how could you do that in the West? You know, how could you sell violins in the West? You just couldn't. You know, your rent would be bloody $2,000 a month. You'd be broke in 6 months. That's what would happen in the West. But in Jatujak, you just open a stand and off you go. And there's some vintage watch dealers here, all sorts of grades. From here we go. Here's an AP, two-tone AP with a Tiffany and Co dial. There you go. And that wasn't too bad money. I was looking at it, and here's my good friend, Wichai. Hello, Wichai. He was a guy I used to deal with in Thailand 10 years ago, and that's his lovely wife. He's doing well. Look at that little stand. He sells off. He's got a Patek on. He's got a gold Nautilus, and I showed him my annual calendar. You know, he's a great guy, and this is what Thailand is built of: small businessmen who put money into some stock, and off they go. They got a business. And look at the stock here. I mean, they don't muck around. They don't pussyfoot around with one or two watches. These guys have got some serious stock. And here's a guy who sells Buddhist little Buddhist prints and little beads and jade. Look at that. Look at that. He looks like he's had that stand for the last 30 years. 30 years he's been selling things. I had a nice chat to him about cameras and Nikon, and he's just lovely to walk around here. And there's a friendliness that you don't have in the West. And here's some lovely ladies having a bit of a chin wag to them. Everyone sells stuff, and here's some more watches for sale here. It's just great to see everyone giving things a try from all levels. That guy had some Seikos, some lower end Omegas. You know, they start at any level. They doesn't have to be, you know, the high end or this or that. They have all sorts of stuff for sale, and it's just, I don't know, it just restores faith in the human spirit, small business spirit, when you see a market like this and everyone just walking around having fun, and it's just it's just so cool. It's so cool. And you know, I wonder, I think, you know, America, the mall shopping centers are going broke. Well, why don't you open some nice weekend markets up? You know, just low barriers to entry. And I mean, this is just such a cool idea. It's so cool. And I look at this, you know, I went to Thailand a bit cynical, and you look at the small business spirit, and it really is uplifting. I know some of them are trying to shaft you. Of course they are. Of course they are. They're businessmen, you know. But that's not the point. They're giving things a try. They'll wheel and deal. And, you know, there's some high-end shit there too. Look at this. This is a Pasha, a Cartier Pasha covered in diamonds. There's some really high-end stuff there. And I got to say, Thailand itself, it's full of free enterprise spirit and drive. Free enterprise. Why not? Give things a try. And it's just refreshing to see people trying and do. You know, it restores your faith. I mean, in the West, we bought this shit where we thought that the big multinationals coming in, like the Bunnings, the Walmarts, that was the answer to things. Well, no. Thai style, it doesn't matter. We got, you know, independent providers here. They're all got businesses. It's just refreshing to see a different approach to small business. And I tell you what, you know, I've come to Thailand, and I've suddenly, you know, my own job situation, the company's going through some hard times. You know, yeah, okay, it's hard, it's tough, but I tell you what, I haven't lost faith in the human spirit. And small business, I think it's great. And I'm desperately trying to build my YouTube business. I love taking photos. I love producing, you know, documentaries like this here. And I love entertaining my viewers. And if I can build my YouTube business from my Google Ads money into a full-time venture, hey, I'll tour the world and I'll make videos for all my fans for the rest of my life. That's right. That's right. That's my promise to you. That's the Archie Luxury promise to his viewers. If you guys love my videos, let me know. Please help me get more punters in. Tell your friends about Archie. And, send me emails. I love hearing from my fans and viewers out there. Tell me what you think. Give me guidance. And I'm happy to spend my life traveling around the world, staying in red light districts and 2.5-star hotels, photographing stuff and putting it all on YouTube. There you go. That's my Archie Luxury promise to you. I'm Archie Luxury, reporting live from the JJ Market in Bangkok. And please, tell your friends about my videos, get more traffic, and I will make more videos for you.